Hello and welcome to a new video and a new week at Oxford. Normally I start on Monday, but it's actually Tuesday today because yesterday I just kind of spent most of the day wrapping up the Rhodes Retreat leadership weekend and heading back into Oxford. So I think we got back around 2-ish. And then I just came back to my place. I had some Shake Shack and then I had like a very, very long nap because I felt very tired and kind of like almost disoriented from the weekend. I think just because it was like many late nights in a row and a lot of like just very long kind of like tiring days. There's a lot going on the weekend, but it was really nice to catch up with everybody. But yeah, I was very tired by the time we got back, so I kind of just needed to like reset. But yeah, I've had a very chill morning in and have been kind of getting my room back in order, doing a little bit of cleaning and organizing. And yeah, it's kind of rainy and miserable and sad looking outside. I think it's kind of chilly today, so I haven't really ventured out, and I don't know if I will be today. I've got some stuff to do this week, so I'm still working on my essay that I have coming up, and I have a meeting with my dissertation supervisor tomorrow. He's not currently in Oxford, so I don't have an excuse to go walk around Worcester, unfortunately. Yeah, so I'll have a meeting over Teams tomorrow, which should be good. And yeah, so I'll like review some stuff for that today as well. And yeah, and then I've got some fun stuff going on later this week, which should be exciting. I'll be going into London near the end of the week, so that should be good. But yes, so today I'm just kind of hanging out around here, and then I've got a couple of books on the go. One is technically for my dissertation, but it's also fun because it's one of the fantasy books. And then I also have an arc of one of Kristen Ashley's books that's coming out next month-ish, so I definitely want to get a head start on that so I can hopefully post about it before the review date. But anyway, that's what I have kind of going on now. So yeah, it's just been good to kind of get back into the swing of things because even though it was only a weekend, it feels like, you know, we were off like very like, it was a break from like the Oxford world, and then we were all like, not looking forward to coming back, and then we're all going to have to get back into work and everything. But yeah, now it's back to the semi-regular routine. So now we're kind of getting into the time of the break where I'm very much like left to my own devices, I guess, because last break, my parents were here for a week and then I went home with them, so I wasn't in Oxford for the break, whereas this time I'm going to be here basically the whole time. I've got like a trip planned and everything, but for the most part I'm in Oxford for the entire break. So it should be interesting because I still have work to do and everything. I have a couple of essays that I'll be working on, but I mean, it's not like I had that many contact hours or like actual like I need to be here at this time every day during the semester, but now that I have like absolutely nothing really and that I'm just kind of like in charge of my own schedule, it's definitely different, very different from undergrad. But yeah, so the break should be interesting. I'm about to head out with the gym with some friends from Pembroke, which will be good because I've been going a little stir crazy because I've been in here all day. However, we are going at night, and sometimes when we go at night, it like keeps me up all night. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see. It'll be good to get out. And we have been going to the gym quite consistently for a while, but the last couple weeks with all of the craziness of the end of term going on, we'd kind of fallen off schedule, so it'll be good to get back to it. Good morning, everybody. This morning I had a meeting with my supervisor over Teams, and it was really good. At this stage, we're still kind of just figuring out like organization and what my digital asset is going to look like how I'm going to present it, stuff like that. So I had sent him like a general kind of outline of what I was thinking, and then a bit of a working bibliography. So we looked at that. We decided to kind of go with like the structure that I had, but to arrange it more like do a section for each book and then kind of do the sections that I had outlined within that, because I think that that will be like a more organic way of approaching the topic. So that's really good, which is one of the questions that I've been wondering about, because I was like, I feel like what I have now is maybe like jumping between things a little too much, and I think that this will flow more smoothly. And then he also told me that the data I've been collecting isn't too much of a hot mess right now, so that's good, because that's something that I was a little more worried about, because it's not something that I've done a whole lot of before. So yeah, we'll still kind of work out more specifics for visualizations and everything as I'm continuing to do the work and as I like define it a little bit more. Which just comes from continuing to collect the information and just getting into it a little bit more, which is what's really happening over the next term. So a lot of courses actually don't do anything. A lot of one-year courses don't do anything in Trinity. Actually, a lot of the two-year courses also don't have any classes going on in Trinity, which is quite interesting. Mine doesn't have classes, but we do still have the practicum, and I think the practicum is quite a nice component, but it does mean that like the other courses won't have anything in Trinity, because then you can work just on your dissertation, particularly for the 9-month courses. Since mine is 12 months, we have more time, and the practicum isn't like a super excessive amount of hours. I think it's kind of expected to be about 20 hours a week. I haven't had the meeting yet to work out exactly what we'll be doing or how it'll work. They said a lot of the placements wind up being more work from home jobs, because they don't have like a specific location. Like they don't have offices and stuff. People they're academics, so they're like working from their own office and everything. But it'll just depend on what we're doing. Like if I'm working on exhibitions, depending on what it is, I might have to physically be somewhere. But anyway. So my course does have stuff going on in Trinity, hence why it's 12 months instead, because you're continuing to do other stuff as you're working on your dissertation. Luckily, the Trinity practicum doesn't have a big essay. It's like a 1,000-word report basically on what you did and what you learned. So yeah, it should be good. But yeah, we're now getting more into the dissertation, which is exciting, but also kind of daunting. It's not excessively long. Mine is about... We kind of wiggled around the word counts. Max 12,000 though, so I think that's about 40 pages, and I haven't written anything that long before, but I've written long paper, so I'm like, I just need to do not quite double what I've done before. I just need to do, it'll be fine. And actually the breakdown of the word count makes it seem much more, I think that like when you say like 40 pages, it sounds more daunting. But once we actually do the breakdown, I'm like, this shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. So yeah, that's what I've been up to so far this morning. And then this afternoon, I think I'm going to potentially head to a library. It is looking a little cold out and windy, but I'd like to get out and go somewhere. So probably go to the library, and then I have to do a bit of grocery shopping. But other than that, I don't have anything too exciting planned for the day. So I have a working theory that my so-called friends, Eloise and Gaia, who are the gym bros that I've been working out with, are secretly trying to kill me. We did leg day a couple of days ago, and it's always worse the second day after, so I can barely walk today. And they're always like, oh, I love feeling like kind of sore the next day. Shows I was really working, and I'm always like, I like to be fully functioning, but whatever. I will survive, maybe, who knows. I've been doing laundry today, and every time I have to go up and down the stairs, I'm like, but oh well. That's why my room looks like this behind me, because I'm doing my sheets and everything, and I'm air drying stuff. But I've got stuff in the dryer right now, but once they're done, I'm going to head out, and I haven't decided if I want to start at a cafe or just go straight to the library. We'll see. I'll maybe see how busy the cafe on the way is, but that is my plan for this afternoon, to continue plugging away at my essay and yeah, get out of my room a little bit. I've been doing kind of like odds and ends here, a little bit, reading a little bit of Uprooted and just kind of like housekeeping stuff. But I mean, you couldn't tell because my room's a disaster zone, but so I've been moving things from one place to another, so that's something. But yeah, that's the plan for this afternoon. So I had a good study session at the Independent Cafe, and then I went to the lower reading room in the old Bodleian Library for a little while, until my laptop died basically. And then on my way back, I got caught in the rain a little bit because once again, I only checked the weather to see how cold it was and did not scroll to see if it was going to be raining. And it was, and I didn't have an umbrella or a hooded jacket, as is my way. But honestly, I feel like that's the more British thing to do, because if you see actual British people, they're just like, I'm gonna get wet, and what about it? But anyway, yeah, I went through the mall, may have stopped at And Other Stories, you know, just to check on it, just to see how it was doing, if it was okay. And then came back here, and I've been just kind of hanging out, eating dinner, plugging away at some more readings again. And now I'm gonna go help a friend, or maybe just watch a friend, help another friend, dye her hair purple, and maybe watch a movie. So yeah, should be a good night. Good morning, everybody. Friday today. Bear with me, I'm still drying some clothes behind me. But today, can't really decide what it wants to be. I think it's fairly warm out and it's sunny, but then all of a sudden it will get quite cloudy and rainy. So that's fun. I've just been doing some work at home right now, but I'm about to head out because I have to get my phone screen fixed. So it had like the tiniest little crack in it, but it's since got this like black spot going there along the crack. It's not a dead spot, I can still touch it, but it's been like that for a couple of weeks because I just resent having to get the screen replaced. And also one of the places that I saw here was like 75 pounds or 80 pounds, which when you convert it into Canadian is way more than what I ever had to pay to get a screen replaced back home, so I'm irritated by that. But I did find a place that is farther away, so I will have to take the bus, but it's about like 60 pounds. So I'll probably go there instead. And I'm hoping that getting the screen replaced will fix that. I feel like it should. But after that, I'll probably hang around close by because it's only supposed to take about a half an hour. And then maybe head to a library afterwards. We'll see. I'm not sure. It's quite nice out, so well, right now it's quite nice out, so it might be nice to sit outside. But we'll see. Yeah, over the weekend, everyone who notices it is like have you noticed that your phone screen is messed up? And I'm always like, yes, yes, I have. And it's irritating, but I don't like having to spend money on that. And everyone's like, it seems like a good thing to have to spend money on. And I was like, do you know how many little treats you can get for 80 pounds? I don't want to have to give up my little treat money. I will do so now because my front camera is also a little blurry and I feel like getting the screen replaced might fix that. We'll see. Nice bus ride was pointless because I rode all the way there, walked to the place, and they were closed. There was a sign that said they were moving to a new location, which they didn't have on their website at all, or mention in the email when I was talking to them. So I came back, dropped my phone off at a place closer to me, at least it'll be done. And now I'm gonna hang out in the MCR for a couple hours until it's finished, which is irritating. But at least I'll have a phone that I can actually see. Good morning, everybody. So yesterday my phone screen got fixed. I only had to take a slight detour. I took one unnecessary bus ride, but at least it's done. My camera works. My screen is not black, so I guess that's more ideal. But then afterwards I had dinner with a friend and then we kind of came back home and hung out for a little bit, and then I went to the pub and bar night with a friend, just briefly to chat and everything. Well, I guess we were there for like a couple hours, but yeah, it was nice. And then yeah, we came back and chilled for a little bit. But this morning is exciting because I'm going to head into London this afternoon. Me and my friend Anika are going to Macbeth with Ralph Fiennes. And she is actually in London right now because she has a friend visiting who's going to come to the show with us as well. So they're kind of doing their own thing right now, but I decided to just come in early as well. And I'm just gonna explore on my own, which I'm excited about because I've only been into London when my parents were here in December, and I had a really, really fun time when they were here. So my plan is to go to Covent Garden and kind of explore there for a bit because there's also this street near there that just has a bunch of bookstores that I saw it on Instagram. So I think I'm gonna go there. And then after that, I assume there will still be time because the show isn't until the evening. But I'm going to go to this place called Word on the Water, which is a bookstore on the water. It's like on this little dock boat kind of situation. So that should be quite cute. Very like bookish day. And then I'll head over to the show. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it because I haven't really done that before. Like I haven't been into London much, and I haven't really like explored somewhere big like that on my own before. So I think it will be quite fun. But yeah, I'm going to actually get breakfast with Guy and Eloise first though, which will be in Oxford, which will be quite nice because I am very hungry. But yeah. So even though it's quite a small street, I spent a good couple hours on that. I think they call it Booksellers Row, or at least that's what it said on Instagram. But it was very, very cool. A lot of like antique shops and just bookstores around. Covent Garden is a lot of like shopping. It's kind of a shopping center. But yeah, very, very cool. I did buy something, but I'm not going to show it right now because I think I'm going to keep it a surprise, so I might cut that out. But I'm about to head to Word on the Water, which I'm really excited for because I think it'll be quite cute.
When the siren sound you had under the floor.
Okay, so Word on the Water was obviously super cute. They had lots of, so those were more like recently published books, kind of a mishmash of like genre, everything what you're gonna get. And then the book street that I went on was like old, rare special editions. Like there was a 1,000-pound copy of Grimm's Fairy Tales, 7,300 signed £1 signed first edition of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, 500-pound special printing early edition of Peter Pan and Wendy. So like, not places where you'll do your regular book shopping, but if you're into books and you're in London, very cool places to stop. When I was at Word on the Water, there's a shopping center nearby, and I saw a bunch of people with bags for this like thrift store vintage shop called Beyond Retro. So I went and looked, but nothing was really my vibe. But this part of the city definitely seems like rich hipsters. That's the vibe that I'm getting from it. So I've finished everything that I specifically wanted to do, and I still have a lot of time, but I think I'm just going to start heading towards the theater and maybe find something to eat around there. We'll see. So when I last left you, I was just heading in to Macbeth. I'd gotten off, so I'd finished up at Word on the Water. I had like a weird amount of time left after I'd kind of finished up at Word on the Water and that sort of part of town. So I decided to just head over, start making my way over to the theater, and I was gonna find something to eat around there. What I should have done, because I had to take one train and then catch another line, and in between, I could have gone to Borough Market, and that would have been much better to do for dinner, although it might have been closed by then. But anyway, I went over to the theater. Is called Dock X, and it's just kind of in like a weird part of town. Like I started going over there and walking and following maps towards the theater, and I was like, this doesn't seem like a place that would have a theater. It just seemed like very industrial, and then there was just a lot of apartment buildings. So there wasn't that much for food. There were a couple nice looking like restaurant, cafe area things, but I didn't really, a couple of them looked kind of expensive, and I also like I was like, I don't know if I want to go just sit down by myself, but I did, so I wound up just like getting something quick at a food truck that was just about to close. So I just had a little bit to eat, and then I went into the show, and the show was so good. Ralph Fiennes was obviously amazing. And Lady Macbeth is usually played by Indira Varma, who plays Ilaria Sand in Game of Thrones, and I'm sure she would have been incredible, but she wasn't able to perform last night, which is too bad, although the actress who did perform last night was also amazing. All of the special effects, the lighting design was so cool. They just had all of these really interesting details, like, so it was kind of like concrete cinder blocky looking almost. The back of the stage had these walls, and as the show was going on, the walls started dripping blood. It was very cool. I would not want to be the person that has to clean up after it, but yeah, I really, really enjoyed the show. They had these like I don't know how to describe it, almost like breathy sound effects, like when the witches were around. It all just worked together very nicely. And yeah, I've never seen Macbeth live, but oftentimes I've like preferred the comedies over like the tragedies and some whatever when I've seen Shakespeare performed. But yeah, I did really enjoy this one, and I'm really glad that I got tickets and went in for it. But I also wanted to show what I picked up in London. Yeah, and I had just like a really nice day in London. It was a very Cass-ish day. Like I know a lot of people who would be quite into doing all of that, but you know, maybe wouldn't want to do it all afternoon, or like, I don't know, it's just kind of a nice thing to get to go in and do by myself and do at my own pace. So I went to, it's called Cecil Court, I'm not sure. It's just this little side street in the Covent Garden area. I don't know if it's technically in Covent Garden, I think it is, but I'm not positive. But yeah, there was a guy there. I don't know if he was giving like an official tour or what, but it sounded like a tour group, but it just didn't like look like one, so I don't know what was going on. But he was saying that like, oh, this is like so historic, and like Charles Dickens and Arthur Conan Doyle and all of these famous British literary figures would hang out around here. So I don't know if that's true, but definitely like a lot of old stores, and most of them seemed like kind of specialized, or what you would find there would be older books, early editions, special printings of books. My two favorites were the one that was kind of Alice in Wonderland themed, had more than just Alice in Wonderland stuff, but I think the store was called Alice Through the Looking Glass. And then the one next to it, which is called Marchpane, had specialized in children's books. I was going to keep this a secret because I got it for my mom, but I lasted maybe 5 hours keeping it quiet. So I got her this edition of Black Beauty, which is illustrated, and this is perhaps me not being a very good collector buyer, but I couldn't figure out what year it was because it's just, it's not listed in the publication information, but I looked up the edition, and I think it's like, from what I can gather, it's between like 1912 to early 1940s, which is not super specific, but like close enough. And yeah, I saw people selling this one on eBay for like £350, which is significantly more than I paid for it. And then other ones were more like 60 to 150, £200 range, which is also more than I spent on it. So I was like, I'm doing pretty good. But yeah, it's really cool. It's got this kind of like, what do you call this? Embossed? I don't know. A cool cover. And it's illustrated. It's got these different, like this one. So yeah, very cool. I already know that she likes it, but I'm sure when she can see it in person, she will like it even more. I nearly got one of the less expensive versions of Peter Pan for myself because I'm obsessed with Peter Pan. But I decided to wait and see if I found anything at Word on the Water. Or just like, I will probably be back. So I was like, I don't need to get anything first time I'm here for myself. But yeah, very cool street. There was also a store that had more like recently printed books and had like special edition signed editions of them. Like there was a signed first edition of a special edition of A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid, which I was also tempted by, but I did not get that one either. Also saw a 7,300 pound signed first edition of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which is crazy. I told one of my friends who's into Harry Potter, and she's like, Cursed Child though. I said, yeah, but I bet there's not a lot of like signed, J.K. Rowling signed stuff floating around. But yeah, so after I finished up on that street, I went to Word on the Water, which is kind of by King's Cross area, and it's basically like a bookstore on a boat, like you saw. Very cool. Also like recent printings of books, like just like regular books, current books, I don't know, like what you would buy at a bookstore. But yeah, not big enough to do like if you're going and looking for specific titles, that's probably not where you're going to go. But yeah, a very cool place to go and see. So I initially just got like a postcard of Word on the Water, and I'm just gonna hang it up on my board But then I was like, I'll get a book. So I got this just pretty edition of Emma by Jane Austen. It's got like foiled edges and everything. So I don't have my own edition of Emma, so I was like, huh, it's good to add to the collection anyway. And a cool thing to have bought in there. But yeah, had a really nice day afterwards. I think I mentioned yesterday, but I went to this thrift store because I saw a bunch of people carrying around bags, so I went over to look, but just not really my kind of vibe. But still like looked like a cool spot. It was called Beyond Retro, and clearly it was popular because like everyone was carrying around these bags. So yeah, and then I just headed back over to the show. And we came back to Oxford, and we probably got back to home around like 1 to 1:30-ish. So a later night, but nothing crazy. But yeah, I had kind of just a chill morning in, and I saw that Poor Things was on Disney Plus. So I watched that this morning. Definitely very weird. Like, I already kind of knew the concept, but I found it like more disturbing to watch than when I had described. And I feel like it had kind of been coming out after Saltburn, so everything I was seeing was like, oh, you thought Saltburn was disturbing? Wait until you see Poor Things. Or like, you thought Saltburn was graphic? Watch Poor Things. I don't find it that graphic either. I think Poor Things is like a more disturbing concept, but I don't think, because it was all of like the sexual material. People were like, oh my god, it's so crazy. I don't know what I was expecting. Like, it's a movie that was released in theaters. How crazy is it gonna get? But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I can see why she won for Best Actress, and I feel like it's also the kind of movie that like the Oscars like. So yeah, that was my morning, and then I've just been doing some work here. But yeah, this Sunday isn't going to be too exciting. I'm just going to continue working on my essay, and I think I need to go and pick up some groceries because I have many ingredients but nothing that goes together, so I need to go fill in the gaps. So I'm going to be doing that later today, but other than that, I don't really have anything else going on. So I think I'm going to say goodbye here, and I will catch you in the next one.